Hello, this is Story Time, and I am Ron Miscavige, your storyteller. And I have a great story for you today, which I'm sure all of you will appreciate. I'm going to tell you about the universal language. One does exist. Now, let's go back in time a little bit. I remember back in the 50s, they were discussing whether they should make French or English the universal language. I don't even remember if that was ever resolved. But even then it existed, and it exists right now. And I'm going to tell you about this right at this moment. Here is the universal language. And this language, if you were Polish, Italian, Russian, it doesn't matter, and that was your native language, if you learn how to speak this, anybody who understood it on the other side could receive any message you wanted to give them. The universal language is music. And there is a page of a story that tells you what to say, the notes. Is it worth learning? Well, let me tell you this. Let me tell you just a little story. It's a very unique incident that happened. Back in the 70s, I was in England, and I had a band, and we went over to France to play a concert over there, and we were there for about a week. After the concert was over, I took my instrument along with the trombone player who was in the band, and we were now on the town. This is in southern France, and we were looking for a club to go in and maybe sit in with some musicians from that area. So we went in this one club, and it was, I think it was a 5-piece band. I think it was drums, accordion, a sax player, guitar, and bass. And we tried talking to them, but unfortunately, just through making various pidgin English and stuff, we found out that they only spoke French or Italian. And we spoke maybe one or two words. So we took out our horns, showed it to them, and went like this, which means, what do you want to play? The accordion player did this. That told us what key the song was going to be played in. In other words, in that language, in the music language, fingers down equals flats. That would be 3 flats, or the key of E flat. They understood that, and we understood that. We sat in, and he told us the key of each song. If you hold your fingers up, that's sharps. And we played a few songs and had an enjoyable time using the universal language. Now, I will tell you this. To receive the communication as a result of being able to speak this language, you don't have to speak it in order to enjoy it. Because in music, you could hear a song with no words, and it could be a magnificent song that raised you spiritually, or maybe it could be a sad song that made you sad for a moment. But whatever it is, there is a message. And those on the receiving end, no matter what language they speak to communicate on an everyday basis, can enjoy the results of this language. And that is the international language. And I think the more of it we hear, the better off we're all going to be. As a matter of fact, it actually works with animals, because I had an incident where I heard of a guy, well, I saw the guy doing it. He played his trombone on a field. He had a dairy farm, and all the cows come over and to listen to him play the trombone. I went to a friend's place fairly close to where we lived. They had goats, cows, they had a horse, they had a jackass. I took my horn out, and I played Amazing Grace. All the animals stopped what they were doing and looked at me like this, like they were at attention. When I got through the song, they went all back to what they were doing. But whatever it was, for that moment, they just calmed down. I have a little feral cat that we took in, and even from the start of having her there, the one thing she enjoyed the most is if I sang to her. I would sing to her, and she'd look at me and blink her eyes slowly and just enjoyed it. So there is the international language. It cuts across whether you're a human being, an animal, and I don't know how plants would react to it, but I heard a story a while ago that this guy had plants, and he would sing to them, and they grow big and they grew healthy. that was my message for today, and I'm sure you enjoy it just like anybody who's alive enjoys music. And if you'd like to see what else I do, you can go on my website, therealronmiscavige.com, and see the other things that I do. If you'd like to help with the ongoingness of this and the other programs, you can become a patron, or you can make a one-time donation to PayPal. At any rate, I hope this gives you some thought, maybe a different angle on life itself and how much music is part of it for all of us. And there's magic in music. I've said it before. And now today I've given you the international language. So maybe there's a little educational aspect to this. So for right now, I'd just like to wish you all a very happy life, a healthy life. God bless all of you. I'll see you on the next story time. I'm Ron Miscavige. Bye-bye.